Yo, what's up guys, it's NLW here, back again with another video. Today, going to be going through my predictions and thoughts on All Out 2021 this Sunday. But before I get into it, make sure you smash the like button as it helps get the channel out there. And remember to subscribe to NLW Figs. And hey, what are your predictions for All Out? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, the main story going into this show is the return of CM Punk to wrestling. Hasn't wrestled in 7 years, going to be wrestling Darby Allin in Chicago. Going to be a great match and also looks like a great card. So let's get right into it and start with the 21-woman Casino Battle Royale. The winner gets a future AEW Women's title match. We got the likes of Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, The Bunny, Julia Hart, Ty Conti and others. There's also the rumour that Ruby Soho will be making her debut at this show, formerly Ruby Riott. And I think that she'd be a great asset to the women's division. One of my favourites in WWE for a long time. Feel like she was very heavily underutilised, so I'd hope to see her utilised more in AEW if she does end up going there. For this one, I'm going to predict Thunder Rosa to win, although, again, they might be teasing something else with Thunder Rosa down the line, because I think Thunder Rosa will be the one to beat Britt Baker for the championship eventually. I don't know if it's going to be this soon, though, so I'm going to tentatively say Thunder Rosa to win this one, although I could see a young up-and-comer like Ty Conti winning it instead. And moving on to the main card, we've got the TNT Championship on the line as Miro defends against Eddie Kingston. Miro's promos have been on fire recently. I'm thankful for two things, a vengeful god and a double-jointed wife. Absolutely fantastic. Eddie Kingston as well, great promo guy. Would like to have seen a little bit more build-up between these two because it seems to be more Miro carrying the feud at the moment because Eddie Kingston hasn't really been that involved in it. Although that said, I think this match is going to be fun. Got Miro winning this, obviously. Continue his reign, continue it forever for all I care. The man's fantastic. And Eddie Kingston as well, I think he's a great guy. Would like to see more of him elevated in a singles capacity. And moving on, we've also got Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And a lot of people thought that it might be Tanahashi at this show, but perhaps they're saving that for a match down the line. I know that Mox is teasing it a lot, so it's going to happen eventually. It's just whether it happens in New Japan or AEW. I'd love to see Tanahashi in an AEW ring. But aside from that, this is a match that I'm not particularly looking forward to, but I'm sure they're going to knock it out of the park. I wasn't that much looking forward to Moxley versus Nagata a couple of months ago, and that exceeded my expectations a lot. So I think the same's going to happen with this one. Got Jon Moxley winning, but, you know, I've seen a bit of Kojima in New Japan. I'm sure he's going to bring that hard-hitting style to this AEW show here. And speaking of hard-hitting, we've got the giant Paul White going one-on-one with QT Marshall. And here's a match that, you know, I'm not that much looking forward to. It's Paul White versus QT Marshall, isn't it? It's one of the weaker feuds on Dynamite at the moment. I just hope that Paul White destroys QT in under a minute. I'm not a massive fan of QT, but it is what it is. I wonder where Paul White's going to go from here, though, because this is his first feud. I wonder if he's going to do more down the line in a wrestling capacity, or if this is just a one and done as like a special attraction. Either way, it's cool to kind of see him again in a ring, but it's not something I necessarily need to see. It's going to be a squash, simple as that. And we'll move on to the AEW Women's World title match as Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defends against Chris Statlander. Britt Baker, she's always fantastic, and Chris Statlander actually one of my favourite women in the division at the moment. So, you know, I think that Baker's going to win. But then again, you never know. Statlander, she's been booked very strongly, has had somewhat of an undefeated streak since she's been back, and it's good to see her back from injury. But I would like to see her have the Women's World title at some point in the future. I don't think it's going to happen at All Out though, so I've got Britt Baker winning this one. We have the Bastard Pat going one-on-one with Andrade El Idolo, a match that probably out of all of them on the card, I'm low-key most looking forward to. If they're given enough time, it could really be a banger in my view. Pac, again, one of my favourites, as well as Andrade. Andrade, this is only his second AEW match, and they're teasing some stuff with the Lucha Bros defecting to Andrade, but I feel like Andrade's going to bring in some other people with him as kind of backup, so trios match between Andrade's crew and the Death Triangle as well. Could be a fantastic future pay-per-view match in itself. I'm predicting Andrade to win, continue his unbeaten run. I don't know where Pac goes from here, probably continue with the Death Triangle and see what happens. I wouldn't like to see the Lucha Bros leave Pac. I think they're a good unit, as is. I want to see them go up against Andrade and whoever he decides to bring in from Mexico. In a match with Chris Jericho's career on the line, Chris Jericho goes one-on-one with Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. The 5 labors of Jericho were great. It sort of petered out towards the end, but at the start it was fantastic. This match, I don't know how it's going to go, because I can't see Jericho hanging up the boots in AEW just yet. I feel like they'd want to leave that door open in the future. But then again, the roster at the moment is stacked, so where does Chris Jericho fit in to everything? It feels like he's done everything he can do, so I would not be surprised if MJF were to win this match, but I think that Chris Jericho might well win this one and continue his career. But then again, if they put that stip on the line, it does seem as though maybe they're leading to something. Wouldn't be surprised if MJF won this one, but I'm going to pick Chris Jericho. Inside of a solid steel cage, the World Tag Team titles are on the line as the Young Bucks defend against the Lucha Bros. This match is going to be fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I would have loved to have seen Jurassic Express on this show, challenging the Bucks and taking the titles from them, but maybe I have to be patient. Also, maybe they could be preparing Jungle Boy for a singles run, which I'd completely understand. But then again, this match, they haven't really built to it that much, so inside of a steel cage, I'm not too sure. It's going to be great, but I don't know if the Lucha Bros are going to be the ones to beat the Bucks. And it feels like if Kenny wins, which obviously he probably will in the main event, then maybe they want to keep all the championships with the Elite until they eventually crumble. So I'm going to tentatively predict that the Young Bucks are going to win, although I would love to see the Lucha Bros win the tag team titles finally. In his first match in 7 years, CM Punk steps into Chicago to wrestle Darby Allin with Sting. A dream match for many, a dream match for me personally as well. It's great to see CM Punk back in a ring, and I'll briefly touch on what happened on Rampage a couple weeks ago at the First Dance. I was almost 100% certain, but I didn't want to get my hopes up. But then he debuted, a massive pop, couldn't have been any better. Like the way he spoke, his cadence, he's clearly, you know, fantastic on the mic, as we all remembered him being. So this match, again, I think I don't want to get my hopes up too much because obviously CM Punk hasn't stepped in a ring in 7 years, but Darby Allin is great. I'm sure that he'll, you know, put his body on the line to make CM Punk look good, if he even needs to look good. I don't know. There's no way they're going to have CM Punk lose in Chicago. Has to have him win with this one, but Darby Allin won't be hurt by it because, you know, he's getting the rub from simply being in CM Punk's first match in 7 years, so that's enough for me. Where CM Punk goes from here, I don't know. Maybe a feud with MJF, if MJF manages to beat Jericho. Whatever CM Punk's got planned in the future, I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm much looking forward to seeing how he and Darby mesh in that ring without the kind of constraints that he might have had in WWE, so very much looking forward to this one. And what I can only assume is going to be the main event is for the AEW World Championship as Kenny Omega defends against Christian Cage, a match I wasn't much looking forward to when it was first announced, but after watching their match on Rampage, on the first Rampage, it's got me hooked, and you know, that was a great match. I think on pay-per-view they can do even more. I know that with the hype that CM Punk's got, they'll want to kind of up the ante in the world title match, which I'm very much looking forward to. You know, you've got Kenny Omega as this dominant champion at the moment. I can't see it going any other way than Omega beating Christian at this pay-per-view. Where Omega goes from here, I don't know. Obviously, you're setting up for Hangman to return and dethrone Omega. At least that's what I'm very much hoping. You know, that's what they have to do, really. It's a shame Hangman couldn't be at this show, but, you know, it's understandable with his wife having a kid. I think Christian Cage is the most suitable substitute they could have had, so this is going to be a good match, I think. But also, a spoiler alert, it might be a spoiler, it might be a rumour, but if you don't want to hear it, like, you know, you can click off the video now. The return of Bryan Danielson, the debut of Bryan Danielson in AEW is rumoured for All Out. Maybe he's going to challenge Omega. I don't know if you want to put him in the world title scene immediately. Just the fact that we're talking about Bryan Danielson months after he main evented WrestleMania coming to AEW is just a wild, you know, wrestling is wild in 2021 is all I can say. So Daniel Bryan, again, one of my favourite wrestlers ever, and with him and CM Punk in the same company, it just kind of shows you how AEW has reignited wrestlers' passions in a way. You know, you got CM Punk, who's finally convinced, albeit with probably a lot of money, a lot of money, but Daniel Bryan as well, having this opportunity, choosing to go to AEW and not re-sign with WWE is crazy. And, you know, he's got this opportunity as well to work in Japan if he wants to, which really opens the doors for him, and more matches in Japan for Daniel Bryan I think is only a good thing. There's also the rumoured debuts of Bray Wyatt and Adam Cole, especially when you got that big New York show coming in September. The next few weeks of AEW are going to be very intriguing indeed, and I'm much looking forward to it. I haven't been this excited for wrestling in a long time, and I'm glad that we've got AEW as this competition, and it's just a fun vibe, you know, a fun show overall, and I'm very much looking forward to All Out this Sunday. But what are your thoughts on All Out? Let me know in the comments below. What are your predictions for the matches? Make sure you like the video as it helps get the channel out there. Also remember to subscribe to NLW Figs. That's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys later.